Romo and Dak Prescott both have more playoff wins than Kirk
than Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins. And
Let's
I
put
feel like
that.
he's made more money than both of them. Well, not Tony, but he's made more money than Dak.
I think Kirk Cousins has made $407 million if you
Yeah,
add in this contract.
yeah. That is fucking insane.
I should have played quarterback.
should have stuck with football. What's happening and what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Two Peas in a Pod with Tim and Ryan. As always, I'm Tim. That's Ryan. Keeping it P as usual. Ryan, how you doing on this lovely Tuesday evening, my brother?
I'm well, my good friend. About yourself?
I am great, man. I'm holiday week, man. So I'm a little, you know what I'm saying, looking forward to getting to the holiday, but I'm not excited about how our holiday falls. So we get Thursday off for, observance of Independence Day, but we got to go back to work Friday. That shit don't make no sense to me. That to me, that don't make no sense. But
I'm fortunate.
go ahead.
We off. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You lucky motherfucker. It don't make no. I'm in no control of that. The only way I'd be off on Friday is if they don't get enough people to come in and they decide to shut the job down. But I highly doubt that's gonna happen.
Right, motherfuckers got bills. And more shit they trying to do, but that's not fair to y'all. I mean, damn, bro. Like, okay, so what? So next year, what they gonna do? They gonna make y'all work Saturday?
Next
Right.
year to be a 4-3 day weekend.
Right. We'll see you Monday. Okay.
Right.
Hell, there's some people at jobs they off the whole week.
Yep. I would love to get off the whole week, but then again, no, I wouldn't, because then I wouldn't get fucking paid. That's the way my trade union worked.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead. You can have a week off, but don't expect a paycheck next week.
Yeah, fuck that. I use the PTO. Got me fucked up.
I got about another month to a month and a half before I can start getting PTO, but I'm close. I'm very close.
The PTO at these jobs is trash. Like, they changed the model when I got hired on. They talking about every 50 hours you get an hour. I'm like, oh, so work
What
like
kind of bullshit is that?
That's what I'm saying. Work like a slave. That's all right. I got a plan. This is all part of my plan. So
Right.
just endure now and be happy later.
I'm not even going to ask you about your plan because, you don't always give away the secrets. So,
That's how it should be, man. I tell you after the shit happens.
yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Yes, sir. Let's get on into it.
Yes, sir. Jumping off into some sports. First up, we have to talk about two of the biggest NBA free agency signings. One of them is pretty sure it's a sign and trade. But Paul George, free agent, signs to the 76ers, 4 years, $212 million. Ryan, you're a bigger basketball fan than I am. I do enjoy basketball, but Ryan watches a little more basketball than I do.
This nigga's wearing the Celtics hat. He just lied like a motherfucker. Anyway,
but go ahead.
I mean, shit. Honestly, I'm thinking, where would you go? Are you trying to go back to Indiana? I'm like, the 76ers was a sexy pick, but they time was this the best big three in basketball. Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Like,
fuck no.
Is Joel gonna be healthy? Is Paul George gonna be healthy?
I was thinking the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? They actually would have been a lot better had they kept Devin Harris, or was that his name?
Tobias.
Tobias. See, I called him nigga Devin. That's how ashy. Okay, let's get a little backstory about Tobias. All right, that last year at the Clippers, that was pretty much his make or break a year. Went the fuck off. I think he was averaging like 21, 22, and 8 or some shit like that. Get that big money by the 76ers. Bullshit again. Contract year came up. A player option year came up. Balled out, and then he went right back to averaging that 12. So as soon as they signed Paul George, they shipped his ass off to purgatory in Detroit. So, I mean, hey, all he got to do, show some promise this year, ball out next year, right back in that max contract. But, I mean, Are they even a top 3 team? Okay, you got your team
in the East, maybe.
Your team, the Knicks. I guess we can throw y'all into that. I guess.
In the East, not in the NBA.
No, that's what I'm talking about. On the East. So I mean, I guess basically all they're saying Paul George is like, look, I'll play the third scoring option. Y'all two cook. I'm the OG on the team. And I'll hit a couple big shots, but it's gonna be on y'all. It's not as much pressure on him. And then he was looking for that last payday. I think with this, he's made close to, if not over $300 million in the NBA. And then we're not even talking about the Nike deal. We're not even talking about the Nike deal. But hold on. You want to talk about, fuck it, I'm just here for the paycheck. What about Chris Paul?
I didn't even get to him yet. I mean, touching on Paul George, I agree with everything you just said, but what I do want to touch on is the fact that he's headed back to the East. And he's playing some of the tougher competition in the West, so shit, he go back to the East. Though, granted, it's not sweet, but it's not as tough as the East, so shit, he might fuck around and have a big year.
True. And then, how disrespectful of me still sleeping on Giannis and Damian Lillard. But you know what's crazy? That's not even the team Damian wanted to go to. He didn't want to go to fucking Milwaukee. He just wanted to get the fuck out of Portland.
Portland, yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. So
yep.
We'll just have to see. But going back to the 76er thing, I don't really. It's still looking like second round exit. Maybe they might get the third round. And it's bittersweet for me because I really do like Joel. I fuck with Joel. It's just a couple of things, health being one of the main reasons, and then it's like whenever he's healthy, the team chemistry is gone to
all
shit.
Fucked up, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh my God. But the fact that nigga was able to, he was pretty much playing on one leg this past playoffs, and he still was able to drop 50. It's bad boy. I mean, they cry about him in his weight and shit, but that's kind of like his advantage. It's like you ain't finna move
he's fucking bigger than every goddamn buddy.
Yeah, you ain't finna move his big ass around in the paint, but that's also probably part of the reason why he keeps getting injured, because ain't no 330-pound nigga supposed to be moving like a fucking two guard.
True. So. I mean, I think this Paul George signing, I definitely think it puts them top 3 in the East. I think they're the biggest threat to Boston? Maybe. I mean, they do give us a little bit of competition, but we always whoop their ass in the playoffs. So until they can show me any different, I'm not worried about Philly. But congratulations to Paul George for securing was this like his third contract. He's definitely gonna play this. Yeah, third max contract. He's definitely gonna play this out until he retires. And I mean, to be quite honest, it's kind of good to have another superstar like Paul George back in the East. I'm pretty happy about that.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. We shall see. As we always say, Ron, what we always say, only time will tell.
Only time will tell. I'm looking at.
Next up, we have one of my light-skinned brothers, Klay Thompson, signs a 3-year, $50 million deal to go to the Dallas Mavericks. First off, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of glad this Warriors dynasty is officially over with. I've been over that shit. I was over it when they beat us, but I couldn't necessarily say that because I sound biased because the motherfuckers kicked their ass. But anyway,
on the parquet floor.
I see a lot of people saying that, oh, well, the Warriors should have paid him and this and that. They did pay him. They paid him and then they waited for him to fucking get healthy and he showed them nothing. So I don't blame the Warriors for giving him the fucking contract he was looking for. And then the contract that he was looking for, he didn't get close to it going down to fucking Dallas with the Mavericks.
$2 million more. They offered him an extension in the middle of the season, $48 million for 2 years. They handled the shit wrong. I don't think he was the biggest fan of coming off the bench. And then they was kind of treating him like he was like Shaq at the end of his career, averaging like 10, 12 points a game. The nigga was still averaging 18 points a game, okay?
Yeah.
But then In the closeout game, you go 0 for 10. But they kind of fuck with his confidence and shit because he's coming off. You got to do a little bit of backtracking how this unfolded because he came off two of the worst injuries you can get in basketball: an Achilles injury, and he tore his ACL before that.
And he was still able to give you northward of 10 points a game.
And then when he came back, he helped you win a fourth fucking title that no one saw coming.
Yep.
But if you ask me, the Warriors dynasty ended when they lost to a fucking rebuild in the middle of the season Lakers team.
Yeah.
In the second round. It's like, damn. But it's like they strapped for cash. I guess, okay, you gave Draymond $100 million. You gave Wiggins his contract, which he's done nothing since he signed. You pay Steph. I mean, you got
to pay Steph.
I just think he felt like y'all not sharing the wealth all the way. But I mean, they had to pay their young boys like Kuminga. You got Moody, Looney, and several other players. It's disappointing. It's the end of an era, and I remember back in the day when they was on the come up, like that was the sleeper team you picked on 2K, and then like. You like, damn, who the fuck is these light-skinned niggas dropping all these threes and shit, man?
And they come out of nowhere, win a fucking NBA title, come back 3-1 and to the Thunder and all that shit.
And then lose 3-1.
Then you got a motherfucker like Steph who revolutionized the game. Now everybody think they're a good NBA player just because they can shoot threes.
Not only Steph.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Yeah. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
Not only Steph, but him and Klay collectively with the spacing and shit that Steve Kerr brought in. I mean, really, Mark Jackson gave the blueprint. But anyway, him and Steph changed the game of basketball.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're the reason why we got 7-footers playing face up, instead of back to basket, in and out and all that shit, quicker possessions and all that. And I just think because of that style of play, it favors the younger athletes.
Yeah, I would agree.
So now players, I mean, how many players are we going to be able to see like a Chris Paul, like a LeBron, that's going in the year 20 or year 20 plus? You know,
it might be them with this new technology and with the way the game is played now. I definitely, maybe not 20 years plus playing at a high level, but I definitely think we may see more players that can go 20 years. I don't agree. Go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then this is just for the sake of conversation. And PJ opts in, I think it was like 11 or 14 million to do absolutely nothing, buy shoes and play defense. PJ Tucker. But hey, the money is there. I have to get it.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, you spoke on Chris Paul. This one I did not see coming, and it was kind of weird to me. Chris Paul, 1 year, $11 million to go to the fucking Spurs. Okay, let me take that back. I feel like Chris Paul knows he's on his way out. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of to me, this is kind of a community service role. If I'm being quite honest.
He's the guy. Chris Paul might lead the league in assists just by throwing the ball to Wemby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's there. Chris Paul's sole purpose there is to help Wemby develop into what everybody thinks and what the NBA thinks is going to be the face of the league. That's what he's there for.
But the level of disrespect Chris Paul is going through is honestly crazy because they traded his ass away to OKC in purgatory. Not only does he thrive in OKC, they're was like a 6th or 5th seed.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to play in no play-in. And I think won a playoff series, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
And then he gets to pick where he wants to go after that, goes to Phoenix, and they get to the finals, but then he just gassed out because it's a lot of pressure on the 6'6" point guard.
Not to mention, I think he was just gassed out because he probably wasn't used to playing that late in the fucking season.
That too, and honestly, they didn't give that team enough time with Kevin Durant. Getting Bradley Beal I mean, just for the sake of picks and stuff and cap room and all that, really fucked them for the rest of this decade.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's disappointing. I'm a big Chris Paul fan, but I'm happy for him. That just lets me know that the Lakers probably offered him veteran minimum, and that's all he can get probably around the league. So he just went to the highest bidder.
You can't blame him. Shit, get your money, man. You like you said, we know these are your last years, so you want to make sure that you're stable on your way out. So I can't blame him. But let's go ahead and jump off into what we really here for. Let's go ahead and talk some motherfucking pigskin, shall we? This week we have the NFC South. For those of y'all that are not very familiar with the NFC South, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the New Orleans Saints, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Carolina Panthers. First up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went 9-8 last year and won the NFC South. Of course, they lost to the Detroit Lions in the NFC Conference Championship. But anyway, some key departures for this team. Edge rusher Shaquille Barrett, cornerback Carlton Davis, linebacker Devin White, offensive lineman Aaron Stinney, guard Nick Everett, cornerback D. Delaney, and offensive coordinator Dave Canellis. Some key additions for this team: they get back safety Jordan Elliott, edge rusher Randy Gregory, left guard Iasua Opeta, I think that's how you pronounce his name, wide receiver Sterling Shepard, cornerback Bryce Hall, and offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. Ryan, I'm gonna let you take this one first because I know your boy Baker Mayfield is the head quarterback on this team. They had a honcho.
Thank you, mate. And he got familiar receivers to add another layer with Sterling Shepard. They got running back Gus Edwards. They got a guard from Cleveland that he might be familiar with playing with.
I missed Gus Edwards too.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like they didn't get worse. They resigned Levante. They got William Golston. Safety Ryan Neal. They got another linebacker, which they needed to do, Peyton Wilson and Jeremiah Trotter. It's looking like they're trying to keep the team pretty much the same for what it was last year, outside of additional pieces. And they got another running back to give the running back that they got now some much needed breaks because he's been going through hell ever since Tom Brady got there. They are the reigning defending NFC South champions, and it didn't really start off all that good last year. I think they were like 4-7,
something like that.
4-6, something like that, and then they broke off like 5 or 6 or 7 wins in a row to close out the season. It came down to the very end, and the second round, they almost made it to the NFC Championship game last year. I think this team is behind Baker Mayfield. I think they believe in Baker Mayfield. Baker helped save the coach's job, so that helps in terms of getting that continuity, that familiarity back together with the team.
Right.
It's early, but I'm gonna go ahead and just for now, I'll pick them to repeat.
To win the division?
Yeah, I picked them to repeat winning the division.
I ain't mad at that. As far as the offense goes, so I do think they're losing a key piece in Dave Canellis because I definitely think he had a lot to do with Baker's progress and him having the great year that he did last year. But I do think Baker's familiar with Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen, I think he's a former Rams offensive coordinator. He's worked with the Rams wide receivers and Matt Stafford. And I think he was the offensive coordinator with the Rams last year. And keep in mind, Baker came in last year on like less than 24 hours notice, and one player of the week helped them win a game. So there's some familiarity there. Ultimately, I don't see this team taking too much of a backseat because all the offensive weapons are returning. Mike Evans is still there. Chris Godwin is still there. Rashad White, he's returning, and they're getting another running back in Gus Edwards. So I do still expect this team to put up some numbers on the offense. I think the best thing for this offense is that Baker's now comfortable. He got a payday, so he knows now I can just go play ball. He doesn't have the media surrounding him about whether he's going to get traded, about him possibly, being a career backup or anything like that, dealing with was it his fault or was it OBJ fault that the team won? Because he knows the team wants him. Obviously, they paid him to be there. And just like you, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the division by default because I think this is going to be another year where the NFC South it's a lot of uncertainty in the NFC South. But for the Buccaneers, I still see a little bit of continuity. I am worried about the defense because they did lose some key contributors on that defense. Them losing Shaq Barrett and Devin White, those are two key pieces on that front seven. So it'll be interesting to see how teams scheme against them on the offensive side of the ball.
Couldn't say it better myself, sir.
Yes, sir. Moving on, we have the New Orleans Saints, who went 9-8 last year, obviously missed the playoffs. Some key departures for this team: wide receiver Michael Thomas, safety Marcus May, left tackle Andrews Pete, QB Jameis Winston, and wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. Some key additions for this team: edge rusher Chase Young, wide receiver Cedric Wilson, center Lucas Patrick, safety Will Harris, linebacker Willie Gay, offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, and they got running back Kendry Miller in the draft. Ryan, I'm going to let you take this one first again. What is your outlook for the New Orleans Saints this season?
Derek Carr still the quarterback?
Yeah, he is. Derek Carr still there.
I mean, they had some continuity. It came down to the last game of the regular season to determine who was going to win that division. They ended up with the same record as the Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay beat them in a tiebreaker, so that's why Tampa Bay won the division. I don't know why what I'm looking at says OBJ is there. He clearly went to Miami. They got tight end Kobe Parkinson, guard Laken Tomlinson, tackle J.C. Latham, linebacker Adrian Cooper. The head coach is still like the last extension to what made the Saints great, at least offensively, before the departure of Sean Payton. To be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel like they got any worse, but I don't think they got a whole lot better. They re-signed Malcolm Roach, outside linebackers Zach Bynum, B-O-B-A-U-N. I'm sorry for messing up your name. And they re-signed a safety whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Hugo Adami, Amadi. Anyway, this whole division is kind of up in smoke. who's ever gonna show up on Sunday and show out? That's gonna be the outcome.
There's no clear cut. There's no clear cut like winner.
There's no clear cut. It's real close and tight right now in terms of that. Maybe the Saints can squeeze in if they have another good year offensively, because Derek Carr had a decent year last year. On paper.
On paper, he did.
On paper,
it wasn't sexy, but he flashed here and there.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's a win, sometimes it's gonna be ugly, but as long as you get that win, fuck it.
I think this Saints team improves a little bit next year for the simple reason that they get Clint Kubiak, who was the San Francisco 49ers pass game coordinator. But he also was with Minnesota a couple years ago, back in I think it was 2021. This is when Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson really had Dalvin Cook had a big year. Justin Jefferson had a breakout year. I don't think Derek Carr is completely washed up, and I don't think that he's done in this league. I think he still has a little bit of gas in the tank. And with Chris Olave still there, you still got Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield, one of the best receiving backs in the NFL. So I see a little bit of improvement. Derek Carr wasn't completely terrible last year. I think it's Dennis Allen, the head coach. I don't think he's a good fit for this team. Them bringing in Clint Kubiak, a fresh offensive mind to pair with Derek Carr, being that he was the pass game coordinator of San Francisco. And I mean, look at what he was able to do for Brock Purdy. He turned Brock Purdy into a fucking MVP candidate. So if he can do that for Brock Purdy, I'm just saying.
I mean, is that him or more so Shanahan?
I think it's a little combination of both. I think it's a combination of both. But I feel like if he was able to help Brock Purdy do that, then I don't think there's any reason why he can't help Derek Carr, who's been a vet in this league. He's made the Pro Bowl. He has made the Pro Bowl. I don't see any reason why he can't do that for him. But if you play fantasy football, Chris Olave should be on your priority list, okay? I'm telling you right now, he's gonna flash and he's gonna have a breakout year next season. Look for Chris Olave to do big things. But if Derek Carr can't, pick it up, get it together, I hope this don't come back and bite me in the ass. But I have full confidence in Spencer Rattler being able to step in and take full control of this offense. I really do. After what I saw in South Carolina, you giving him, an offensive-minded coordinator, offensive-minded coach and coordinator like Clint Kubiak. Oh yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that they'll be able to at least simplify for him in his first year for him to take over this offense.
If there's anybody that wants Spencer Rattler to do good in the NFL, it's me. At one point, he was 1-2 in the season early at Oklahoma. Finished the season 10-2, won the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then his first year in the SEC, won 10 games as well. So it's very. He's a pro style quarterback, so it's very possible that Lord forbid an injury or anything like that, but it's very possible he can come in and pick up the pieces and keep that thing rolling.
I agree. I'm not wishing nothing bad on Derek Carr, but I would like to see that. I would love to see that just for his sake.
No, I'm a Derek Carr fan. They got fucked in that playoff game against the Saints.
No, they did. Yeah. We all know that.
I'm like, how's the touchdown? You clearly blew the whistle. I'm not getting into that shit. That whole playoff run was kind of like,
it's very iffy.
Okay, because not too many people. No, hold on. Did they go to Arrowhead or was that game in Cincinnati?
No, that game was an Arrowhead.
Yeah, not too many people go to Arrowhead to win playoffs. Like, all right.
All right. Moving on to the next team, we have the Atlanta Falcons, who went 7-10 last year. Obviously, missed the playoffs. Some key departures for them. Obviously, they fired head coach Arthur Smith. Tight end Jonnu Smith, defensive lineman Calais Campbell, who we talked about last week, quarterback Desmond Ridder, wide receiver Cordero Patterson, cornerback Jeff Okudah, edge rusher Bud Dupree, cornerback Trey Flowers, and wide receiver Scotty Miller. Some key additions for this team: quarterback Kirk Cousins, wide receiver Ray McLeod, wide receiver Rondale Moore, tight end Ross Dwelly, wide receiver Darnell Mooney. They got Micheal Penix they got Micheal Penix first round in the NFL draft. Of course, they get a new head coach in Raheem Morris, and they get a new offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson. Before we jump off into this team, I just want to say congratulations to Raheem Morris, another black head coach getting a head coaching job. He's very familiar with the Atlanta Falcons. He knows that he's very familiar with the front office. He was the defensive coordinator there. He bounced around. He was the defensive backs coach. I think he worked out with special teams. He was also the interim head coach in 2020 whenever Dan Quinn got fired. The Falcons started off, I think it was 0-5, and they finished the season 4-7 under Raheem Morris. So, here he is back. He's able to secure a full-time head instead of an interim head coach. He's able to secure a full-time head coaching job with this team. Also, what a lot of people should be very grateful about, I'm not going to say grateful, but they should be excited about if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, they get offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. Now, Zach Robinson, he was the pass game coordinator and the QB coach with the Rams last year. Now, y'all saw what Matt Stafford was able to do with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell, and all those guys. And that leads me into discussing this whole Kirk Cousins and Micheal Penix situation. So, first and foremost, Atlanta, you are fucking stupid for giving Kirk Cousins all this money, fully guaranteed, pretty much, and then turning around and drafting Micheal Penix in the fucking first round. That don't make no fucking sense to me. But
who I hate to fucking say this, but I got to. Who has a history of injury.
Yes, he does. He has a lengthy history of injuries, and ain't never won a fucking. No, I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins. I ain't never won a fucking playoff game, but he's able to get another big fucking contract like this. Fuck you. I can't say that, but kiss my ass, motherfucker.
That motherfucker has made $400 million, and Tony Romo has more
He has
playoffs.
all of one playoff. He's won all of one playoff game. One.
Tony Romo and Dak Prescott both have more playoff wins than Kirk Cousins.
And I feel like he's made more money than both of them. Well, not Tony, but he's made more money than Dak.
I think Kirk Cousins has made $407 million if you add in this contract.
Yeah. That is fucking insane.
I should have played quarterback.
Should have stuck with football. Should have stuck with football.
Not with the Ridder. Anyway, yeah.
But going back to this offense, if you are an Atlanta Falcons fan, you should be very happy about having Zach Robinson as your offensive coordinator, because I think if Micheal Penix is going to take over on this offense, you definitely want a guy like that. I mean, like I said, you saw what he was able to do with, Matt Stafford and that offensive core in LA last year. But jumping off into the Falcons as, the team as a whole, the team has the pieces. They definitely had the pieces to be a good team, to be a dominant force in the NFC again. I expect to see a very heavy dosage of Bijan Robinson next year. I like if you're an avid fantasy football player, you gotta love Drake London next year. And I actually think we might see a Kyle Pitts sighting this year. I really do. Because he has two quarterbacks that like to throw. He has two quarterbacks that like to throw the ball. Desmond Ridder just wasn't it.
Down the field.
Yeah, like Desmond Ridder just wasn't it. So I'm not a Falcons fan, but I'm pretty excited to see what this Falcons team can do. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. If any, they may sneak in as a wild card team or something like that. But I think they'll be one of them teams that are just fun to watch. I'm not expecting them to do well, but I think they'll be one of them teams that are fun to watch for sure. Ryan, what are you making of this Falcons team?
I'm a fan of Micheal Penix. I don't. Not unless something catastrophic happens, I don't see him playing at all this season. They did get wide receiver Malik Neighbors, cornerback TJ Tampa, outside linebacker Austin Booker, wide receiver Johnny Nelson. So I mean, it's looking like, hey, with Drake London, a boy from Florida, it's looking like, hey, we're gonna have 2 or 3 to 4 more, guys to throw the ball to. We just need somebody to get them the ball. So if they took care of that offensive line, I don't know who their running back is.
It's Bijan.
Oh, Bijan. Oh, man, that's why I wasn't thinking about it. All right.
Horns down. Boomer. Sooner. Horns down.
Fuck Texas. I mean, with Texas officially being in the SEC as of yesterday, yeah. Anyway, they got everything offensively. They just insert quarterback and fucking win me some games. I still don't have a lot of questions. I do have a lot of questions about them defensively. But guess what? We'll get that answered here really soon.
Yes, we will. Yes, we about 2 months out. We just got to get to these next 2 months, brother. Next 2 months. Now, my question to you is, what do you think if you had to choose, if you were the head coach or the GM of this team, are you going with Kirk Cousins or are you going with Micheal Penix?
I'm going with the motherfucker they paid all that money to.
Fair enough. I agree.
But at the same time, okay, man, just being a pro, how to command the huddle, how to watch film, all that good stuff. I guess that's good for Micheal Penix, but I don't want that to be his example of how to be an NFL quarterback. Because you watch Jordan Love, them tough ass throws is carbon copy Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and it took him about 3 years to develop that shit too.
Yeah, but what I love about Micheal Penix Jr. is he already had those tight window throws in his repertoire, if you will, before he got to the NFL. I expect the offense to put up some points. I expect them to win and lose a lot of close games. I expect them to be in a lot of close games this year, motherfucker.
Get that bitch.
Oh yeah, he thought about it. All right, my bad.
No, you good. You good. That's definitely going in the bloopers. But I agree with you. I would go with the person that they paid all the money to, but at this point, so them giving Kirk Cousins all that money and then turn around and drafting Micheal Penix in the first round, that lets me know that they're not 100% sure that Kirk Cousins is going to be ready on come opening day. So, if Kirk Cousins is healthy, I'm definitely going with Kirk Cousins. But if I'm Micheal Penix, I'm fighting like hell to work my way into that starting lineup because if I'm the Falcons, I'm putting Kirk Cousins on a short leash. I'm putting Kirk Cousins on a short leash.
Actually, I'm kind of cool with it. I'm kind of cool with it for Micheal Penix because it's too many times we want a quarterback to come in there and have a CJ Stroud year, make the playoffs, But people fail to realize the NFL is extremely fucking hard.
Yes,
so the fact that CJ was able to do that, this lets you know what kind of player he is.
Yeah.
But not to throw no dirt on his name or anything like that. How many times have we seen these phenom quarterbacks for 1 year, very rookie year, and then the rest of the season we like, where is that other guy?
Yeah. I don't recognize this guy. Give me the guy that was in his rookie season. I don't know you. I don't know this person. All right, moving on to the last team in the NFC South. We have the Carolina Panthers at 2-15. Some key departures for this team. Obviously, they fired the head coach, Frank Reich. Cornerback, Dante Jackson. Safety, Von Bell. Center, Bradley Bozeman. Wide receiver, DJ Chark. Cornerback, CJ Henderson. Edge rusher, Frankie Louvu. Edge rusher, Brian Burns. Cornerback Shaquille Griffin. Wide receiver, Laviska Shenault. Safety, Jeremy Chin. And linebacker, Deion Jones. Some key additions for this team, they get head coach Dave Canellis. Wide receiver, Deontay Johnson. Linebacker, Josie Jewell. Defensive lineman, Ashawn Robinson. Safety, Nick Scott. Edge rusher, Clavon Chiasen. Edge rusher, Jadeveon Clowney. Offensive lineman, Robert Hunt. Running back, Rashad Penny. Safety, Jordan Fuller. And then they get running back, Jonathan Brooks out of Texas in the first round in the NFL draft. I'm going to take this one first. Now, there's no way to say this. The Panthers have been a fucking absolute dumpster fire since Cam Newton left. There is no that's obvious. That was a given. But
curse of Cam Newton.
And Frank Reich, I was an advocate for Frank Reich last year because I like what he did with Carson Wentz in his rookie year. You know how he helped him develop. I like what he did with Phillip Rivers when he was in Indianapolis. So I definitely thought that he was going to be the guy for Bryce Young, but I don't ultimately think it was all Frank Reich's fault. I mean, that team was that whole situation was just a dumpster fire. But anyway, their new head coach, Dave Canellis, let me remind y'all, Dave Canellis is responsible for last year. He was responsible for Baker Mayfield's last year, which was Baker Mayfield's best season. He was also responsible for Geno Smith a couple years ago when Geno won Comeback Player of the Year and was able to earn his contract. And he was a part of that Seattle offense for quite some time when everybody was saying that they didn't know what the Seahawks were going to be. They didn't know what Russ was going to be. When Russ was cooking and looking like an NFL MVP candidate for the first 3.5, 4 months of the season. So I do feel like he is a good pairing with Bryce Young. I don't feel like the Panthers are going to be all that great this year, but I feel like Bryce Young is definitely going to I think he's going to flash a little more. I like Deontay Johnson. Obviously, he comes from my Steelers, so he has a legitimate number one wide receiver to throw to. And it's going to be interesting to see how they can, include Jonathan Brooks into this offense. But I do expect a very pass-heavy offense. But you got to protect Bryce Young. He's already a small motherfucker, so you can't let him get fucked up like he was last season. Okay? Now, the Panthers are low-key. I'm not even gonna call them a sleeper team, but give them a year or two. Give them a year or two. I think the Panthers may surprise some people within the next year or two. I'm gonna leave it at that. But Ryan, you take off on this Panthers team.
Offensively, we got they drafted Troy Franklin. They re-signed DJ Chark. They signed.
No, they let DJ go.
Oh, okay. They signed Mike Gesicki and Kendrick Bourne. Mike Gesicki's a decent tight end. That's a good safety valve. But a lot of young quarterbacks need somebody to throw the ball to. You know, when everybody else is covering quick check downs, that's a great addition. I'm a big fan of Bryce Young. He has all the arm talent and strengths and things like that, but I don't give a fuck who you are. You can be Brett Favre, you can be Tom Brady, you can be Peyton Manning. If you don't have an offensive line, you're not gonna do too much. Not unless you're Barry Sanders, but that's a running back. So I'm with you 100%. We may see some flashes of what this team could be in the future, but I'm not expecting it this year. No. If they put it to you this way, if they win 8 games, I consider that a win.
I would agree.
Yeah. So, I'm a big fan of Bryce Young. I do feel like they have their quarterback for the future. Excuse me. But I'm just real interested in how they improve defensively and what they've added offensively and what is their offense going to be.
Their offensive identity.
Right.
I like that. Now, moving on to what I like to call the thinking segment of the podcast. I'm gonna take this first one first because I got the perfect one. We're gonna come up with a message for each team in the NFC South. First up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is simple. Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake. Y'all saw what Baker was able to do. Baker had his best season last season. Let him go out there and sling that motherfucker, man. Y'all, when he's passing the ball in an offense like this with these type of weapons, like this is where he thrives at. Let him sling that motherfucker. Keep letting him throw that bitch. What about you, Ryan?
And for me, kind of piggyback off what you said, Baker Favre, you know what I'm saying? Let's let him go out there and do his thug thizzle. Defense, you got a defensive coach, so they should be all right doing their thing. I think they got their offensive line problem solved. So with that being said, Mike Evans wanted to run it back. Gus wanted to come on, get some more money. Come on. Come on. Baker Favre.
I like that.
Or Brett Mayfield, whatever you want to call
it. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints. If you had a message or a slogan for this team, what would it be, Ryan?
Stay healthy. No, that should be for Carolina. Honestly, bro, I'm trying to come up with more creative things to say, but for this one, man, limit mistakes. I felt like that's what killed them at the end of the season last year. That and just giving up a couple games they shouldn't have. But yeah, limit mistakes. So just protect the damn ball. Don't help them. Don't help them anymore than they
don't help them win.
Right.
This one, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. So we all know the Saints are, really using a religious term. Saints are, they're supposed to be good people. Y'all got to do one thing this season for the Saints to win: sin. You got to sin. When I say the Saints need to sin, okay. Sin and win, okay.
Hey, I'm just gonna put it to you like this, right? They in New Orleans, okay. A lot of fucked up shit going on down there.
It's already a lot of sinning going on down there.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, the last time they was on some shicey shit, the Bounty Gate, and then they went 8-8. I feel like they got a version of the NFL death penalty, because outside of Cameron Jordan, they couldn't get shit going defensively for a very long time.
Well, I mean, they had a good defense. They had Cameron Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, Honestly, I think they're cursed from that. You remember when Stephon Diggs caught that pass and that safety like ducked up under him, and then they curse. Honestly, I think they cursed from that.
It was just like they could never get a break. That game was all but over. I'm like, damn, these niggas finally getting to the fucking NFC check. What the fuck?
The fuck did you just do?
He whiffed on the tackle, bro. He didn't want to hurt him because they would have called a penalty. But I'm sorry. And I love Stephon Diggs. I'm a big Stephon Diggs fan. But if I was dude, Stephon Diggs would land on his fucking head.
He'd landed on the head, and I'd have took my I would have took my chances with possibly blocking the field goal as opposed to, them scoring the touchdown in the last seconds of the game.
I felt like that team was good enough to get to a Super Bowl.
They were. Had they got to the Super Bowl, I definitely feel like they would have won too.
But hey,
we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. Just like we'll never know about Drew Brees' on TV career as well.
At this point,
he said, "Fuck that shit."
Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons. If I had to come up with a message or a slogan for the Atlanta Falcons, is spread your wings, spread your fly.
Get fly, back Falcons to, fly.
I get it. Y'all gotta go through growing pains, changing of the guard and whatnot. But hell, at one point, Atlanta was one of the more exciting teams to watch in the NFL. I don't know what the fuck y'all been hibernating or something, but y'all gotta spread y'all wings, man. Get back to being the exciting team, the dominant force that is the Atlanta Falcons that we were used to watching for quite some time.
I think at halftime, you know what I'm talking about. When it was 25-3. I think
28-3.
28, goddamn. 28-3. I think that whole city talked so much shit. That guy was like, nah,
y'all don't deserve it.
Nah. You ran your mouth too much. Or Tom Brady gave all the referees all together another $30 million. You're gonna call this fucking game.
Deflate the damn balls right now.
I don't know. When Edelman caught that ball on 5 people, I'm like, okay, it might just be their time to go ahead and win this one. That was a Eli Manning Super Bowl. They had to get one, right? They had to get one. But my slogan for them is score points. Okay? You got too many weapons. You got a Swiss Army knife at running back. You got a Mike Evans type at wide receiver. You could be Antonio Gates type at tight end, Kyle Pitts. You know what I'm saying? There's too much about this team that I feel like we don't know because they haven't had the opportunities to show what they can do. So score points.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers. If you had to create a message or a slogan for this team, for the Carolina Panthers, Ryan, what would it be?
Protect your investment. Protect Bryce Young. Protect Bryce Young. Now, if you insert Bryce Young on the Falcons, I'm not saying
it could be a different story.
I'm not saying what happened this season, but shit, they coming. You know what I'm saying? It might would have been like that. But protect your asset. Protect your asset. Bryce Young.
For the Panthers, I would say, so Panthers are, they're really good at, being, moving in stealth mode, right? Moving in the night. Pounce in the night. If you're the Panthers. Pounce in the night. And I say that because everybody's sleeping on you right now. Ain't nobody expecting y'all to do shit. Nobody's looking at y'all. Surprise them. You know what I'm saying? Catch everybody by surprise. Come out, start punching motherfuckers right in the mouth.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I mean, y'all have the head coach that knows how to scheme up some shit, put up points on the board, and, confuse the hell out of defensive coordinators. So, pounce. It's there for the taking, man. But y'all just gotta go take it. Plain and simple.
I mean, sometimes even coaching to a player's ability on offense, it just doesn't work out because maybe it's the scheme or maybe they just don't. For whatever reason, sometimes I don't feel like on the offensive side of the ball, they are even talented enough. Then again, homie got sacked like a billion times.
Yeah, he got hurt.
last
Fucking
year.
what was it like the I think the third to last game or some shit like that.
Yeah, and that's heartbreaking. He shouldn't have to go through that his rookie year.
I mean, he's not the first quarterback to go through that. I mean, it had to be demoralizing enough because it was just like, damn, we already didn't have the greatest season. Head coach got fired, and then now I got to deal. Y'all traded away one of my best weapons. It's like now I got to deal with this. And god damn, man.
Which that was, that was a stupid move because it's like now you remaking it. Everybody on the offense relearn a whole new system, not on the fly, basically. And like, how do you develop chemistry when you have to relearn a whole new system?
Yeah, I agree. It's just fucked up, man. It's just fucked up.
This like Cleveland, not to get off topic, but this like Cleveland firing the Cleveland Cavaliers firing their head coach.
Yep, JB Bickerstaff.
It's like if you look at their record, every year he was their coach, they got better.
I don't like where I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't like where the NBA said it, but I don't like what the NBA is now. It's like, damn, if you don't win a title in 3 years, your job is at risk.
That's on the owners. That's on the owners. That's like,
I mean, you got to look at you got to look at. I mean, look at Denver's coach. He's been there since what, like 2014. Mike Malone's been there. Mike Malone has been there for quite some time.
Yeah, but I mean, look at what Mike Malone was able to do when you left him the fuck alone.
Yeah, that's true too.
Fucking title. He helped put that whole team together.
Yeah, I mean, I can also remember years, even after Melo left, when Denver was like ranked number 1 in scoring, and it was always they were like a top seed in the playoffs.
Back when they had Ty Lawson and all them niggas.
Yeah, like they were always a top seed in the playoffs. So, I mean, you got to give credit. You got to give credit where credit is due. Like Mike Malone's done a hell of a job, man.
Yeah. I just don't like how the NBA does black coaches. Now it almost feels like, because the media has been crying about it more with the NFL and black coaches, that it's almost like we have to hire a black coach and give him a chance. But now the NBA is kind of turning into the NFL. Like, I remember Dwayne Casey got fucking fired and he won Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I'm like, oh my God, they just don't like black coaches, bro. And then niggas like Steve Nash, Steve Kerr, and JJ Redick get coaching jobs.
You know what? I say this. I don't care for JJ Redick, but I'll say this about JJ Redick. Do know basketball. He knows basketball.
And he very well could know basketball, but I'm not finna sit here and get fucking fooled because he did a podcast with LeBron. Oh, that shit was weird. I'm like, okay, LeBron doing the podcast. I'm thinking 2 things here: either LeBron finna retire or this motherfucker is fired. Well, I mean, I kind of hated how it worked out, but there's videos out there of like the players completely ignoring Darvin Ham. They just gave up on this nigga. It's just
even before. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And there's times he's at games it's looking like somebody just fucking shot his dog in front of him. Like he just looked fucking confused and scared for his life.
Well, even before JJ started doing the podcast with Brian, when we would see him on basketball analyst shows or whatever, he knew what he was talking about. Like he wasn't just popping off at the mouth. And this ain't me saying that he's gonna be a great head coach or whatever, but I say give him a chance, Ryan. Give him I don't even like you motherfuckers. I don't want to see y'all do good at all. I'm just being completely honest. I'm glad we got number 18, but I know how big of a Lakers fan you are, and as a basketball and as a sports fan, the sport of basketball is better when a team like the Lakers is doing well, because they're because they're the biggest media market in, the Lakers are the biggest media market, or just LA in general, the whole city of LA. They're the biggest media market in sports. LA, the Lakers are, they have the biggest fan base in the NBA. So when they're winning and when they're doing well, it's good for the sport. It's good. It is. It's good. I even as a Celtics fan, I can say that. But fuck
fuck y'all too. And I'll piggyback into say that the basketball is better when the Lakers and Celtics are good.
That too. And I say that. I don't want to see, like I said, I don't want to see y'all do good at all, but I would love to get a Lakers and Celtics. We overdue. But y'all said we are way overdue for a Lakers and Celtics finals. We playing this.
I mean, you as much as I hate to say this, you all made better fucking front office decisions than we did. It's like, okay, her banning Jerry West. He couldn't even come to Laker games and shit like that because
that's fucked up.
He didn't like the fact that she was fucking Phil Jackson at the time. That nigga voiced his fucking opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been real nice after your father died that you would have had enough fucking sense to get real cool with Jerry to get this team together. Left Magic the fuck alone. Like, I don't want to get into our front office decisions. That falls solely on Jeannie fucking Buss. You fired your brother to turn into your fucking brother.
Plain and simple, period.
Like if we didn't have LeBron, we'd be in the fucking lottery every fucking year. AD would eventually get traded away, and then we'll be back to where we were, square one for either one of them got there.
I still think y'all got a chance to sign DeMar too, because he is a free agent. So
that nigga don't want to play in LA. I mean, if he does, this is the time. But like, it's been too much time now. It's like, nigga, don't come to us and start getting hurt and start missing hella shots and shit. But I just
go ahead.
What you finna say?
I mean, yeah, but at the same point in time, there's no questions with DeMar. Like we know what what DeMar he's what he's gonna give you. He's gonna give you 20 plus a game.
Yeah, mid-range dime. That's a dying art, especially in the fucking NBA today.
Yeah.
But I feel like LeBron probably turned into Kobe at the end of his career. Did anybody want to go play with Kobe?
Yeah, that's true.
That motherfucker, like, he sabotaged the championship team. You could have found a point guard. Fuck Steve Nash. You could have found a point guard, but like Kobe didn't have enough sense. He's gonna be the future. Play through him. I don't have to score 30 fucking points a game. I don't have anything to prove. No, at the end of games and shit, he starts seeing all them cameras from where he at over there. I done seen this shit before. Fuck that. And then he went to Houston and that was that. But hey, NFC South is a clusterfuck. Go Tampa.
I would agree. Man. But anyway, man, that's going to be it for this week's episode. It's always a pleasure having y'all join us on the podcast. Please make sure y'all go subscribe. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I do need to make us a Facebook page for this upcoming season. Once again, well, come football season, we will be doing live episodes and trying to interact with the fans a little more. Also, if we have any fans from Norman, Oklahoma, we will be out there. We will be out there in August for the opening game against Temple, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping we get a better showing than we did last time we was out there because Jeff Levy ain't want to put up no points in the first half.
Well, dude, that team was so bad. Like just offensively, I'm thinking the players that we have now that we eventually got the year after.
Yeah.
And then the year after that, the guys we got into those 2 years. But it was amazing that we were able to win 6 fucking games.
Yeah.
All things considered, that whole team got gutted.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give it to Brent and what he was able to do in a bridge, what he was able to do in a bridge year. So,
I mean, like they say, defense wins championships. So maybe this year or next year we have a defense that people have to worry about. But I have no expectations for this first inaugural season of us being in the SEC. it's like, okay, well, we're here. I'm not overjoyed about it. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm not too happy about it.
I'm ecstatic. Maybe the Red River Rivalry will go to being a fucking primetime game now. That'd be lit. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, getting played at 3:00, that hasn't happened since 2017. But hell, new prime time is 11:00.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
Now.
We shall see, man. We shall see.
Outside of the SEC, go Bucs.
For me, it's always go Steelers. But as always, man, Ryan, it's always a pleasure doing the podcast with you, brother. Until next week, man.